Hello everyone, it's Anna, also known as Book Anna, and today there's another new releases video. But this time around I wanted to do something a bit different because for the past few videos I'm only sitting down and telling you guys about the books. I decided that today I'm going to be baking banana bread whilst telling you guys about some new releases that are coming out in June this year. I think I have 20 new releases. Starting off, the first book that I have is 10 Incarnations of Rebellion by Vaishnavi Patel. This one comes out 3rd of June. Next few books also are all coming out 3rd of June. This one is historical fiction fantasy. Kalki Divekar grows up a daughter of Kingstone, a city of the British built on the ashes of Bombay. The older generation, including her father, have been lost to the brutal hunt for rebels. Young men are drafted to fight wars they will never return from, and the people of her city are more interested in fighting each other than facing their true oppressors. Told as 10 moments from Kalki's life that mirror the Dashvatara, the 10 avatars of Vishnu, 10 Incarnations of Rebellion is sweeping, deeply felt speculative novel of empowerment, friendship, self-determination, and the true meaning of freedom. The next book that I have is The Afterlife Project by Tim Weed. This one is sci-fi fantasy. Separated by 10,000 years, a team of scientists and their test subjects must work together to save the human species before it's too late. A finalist for the Prism Prize for Climate Literature, the Afterlife Project encompasses a desperate quest for the key of the future of humanity, an impossible love story, and a search for meaning across the inconceivable vastness of geological time. This one kind of got me on the first separated by 10,000 years. They're trying to work together. I feel like that's a really cool concept that I don't see that often in the books as I would like. But also another thing that I kind of noticed is a lot of books this month are in multiple timelines. This one, and then I feel like 3 other books are all multiple timelines, or 2 other books. Just give me a moment and then I will be going further with my... Okay, this is 50. Okay, the next book that I have is The Unmapping by Denise S. Robbins. This one is sci-fi dystopia. There is no flash of light, no crumbling, no quaking. Each person in New York wakes up on an unfamiliar block when the buildings all switch locations overnight. The power grid has snapped, thousands of residents are missing, and the Empire State Building is in Coney Island for now. The next night, it happens again. While scientists scramble to find a solution, or at least the means to cope, and mysterious red cloak cults crop up in the disaster's wake, New York begins to reckon with a new reality no one recognizes. With themes of climate change, political unrest, and life in a state of emergency, The Unmapping is a timely and captivating debut. I feel like that is so original. I never heard of a book that does that, and I think it's very original, so I really am excited about this one. The next book is The Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater. I have to read Raven Cycle by her. I've never read a book by her, and I was told that I would love Raven Cycle. This one, I feel maybe I could even read before because Raven Cycle is like a series. This one is standalone. It's a historical fiction fantasy. January 1949, the Avalon Hotel and Spa has always offered elegant luxury in the wildest of West Virginia, its mountains, sweet water washing away all of high society's troubles. Local girl turned general manager June Porter Hudson has guided the Avalon skillfully through the first pangs of war. The Guilfoys, the hotel's aristocratic owners, have trained her well. But when her family heir makes a secret deal with the State Department to fill the hotel with captured Axis diplomats, June must persuade her staff, many of whom have sons and husbands heading to the front lines, to offer luxury to Nazis with a smile. It could be a very realistic depiction of something that could easily happen. The next book that I have is Flashlight by Suzanne Choi. This one is another historical fiction. I believe it's Japanese literature. One night, Louisa and her father take a walk on the beach. He's carrying a flashlight. He cannot swim. Later, Louisa is found washed up by the tide, barely alive. Her father is gone, presumed drowned. She is 10 years old. In chapters that shift from one member to the next, turning back again and again to that night by the sea, Susan Choi's flashlight chases the shockwaves of one's family's catastrophe. What really happened to Louise's father? Why did he take Louise and her mother to Japan just before he disappeared? And how can we love or make sense of our lives when there's so much we can't see? It sounds sad. The next book is A Family Matter by Lynch. This one is queer literary fiction book. 1982. Dawn is a young mother still adjusting to life with her husband when Hazel lights up her world like a torch in the dark. Theirs is the kind of connection that's impossible to resist, and suddenly life is more complicated and more joyful than Dawn ever expected. But she has responsibilities and commitments. She has a daughter. 2022. Heron has just received news from his doctor that turns everything upside down. He's an older man, stuck into habits of a quiet existence, telling Maggie, his only child, that the person around whom his life has revolved seems impossible. Heron can't tell her about his diagnosis, just as he can't reveal all the other secrets he's been keeping from her for so many years. A Family Matter is a heartbreaking and hopeful exploration of love and loss, intimacy and injustice, custody and care, and whether it is possible to heal from the wounds of the past in a changed world of today. Okay, so I have flour and I have sugar and I have to beat eggs, and that is going to be loud. Or maybe, you know what, I think I'm just going to beat them with what I mashed, the banana. Oh, my butter is melted, so I can take it out. Let's beat the eggs whilst I'm telling you about another sci-fi horror book, but this time it has a twist because it contains vampires in it, and that is Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. The concept of this book? Immaculate. Demeter just wants to do her shuffling humans between Earth and Alpha Centauri. Unfortunately, her passengers keep dying, and not from equipment failure, as her AI medical system steward would have her believe. These are paranormal murders, and they began when one nasty, ancient vampire decided to board Demeter and kill all her humans. The next one is Notes on Infinity by Austin Taylor. This one is sci-fi romance. Zoe, the daughter of an MIT professor who grew up in her brother's shadow, can envision her future anew at Harvard University. Jack, a boy in Zoe's organic chemistry class with unruly hair and a gleam of competitiveness, matches her intellect and curiosity with every breath. When Jack refers Zoe for a position in a prestigious professor's lab, the two become entwined as colleagues, staying up late to discuss scientific ideas. They find themselves on the cusp of a breakthrough, the promise of immortality through a novel anti-aging drug. But after the money, the magazine covers, and the national news stories detailing their success, Zoe and Jack receive a startling accusation that threatens to destroy both the company they built and their partnership. This one kind of reminds me of that book, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. That was really popular. I have not read the book, but it's also kind of two friends who I would think here they aren't friends definitely from the beginning, but in that book there are like two friends and they do this game, they make this game, and here they're also like working together for something that becomes very popular and they become kind of famous. So that's kind of reminds me of that one. I have to chop up some chocolate and I have to really try to not chop off my fingers whilst also reading this, so it's going to be very fun to do that. The next book is Kill Creatures by Rory Power. Now we are on 5th of June. This one is Hawaii Mystery. I did read Rory Power book, Wilder Girls by her. I did read that one, but I didn't really like it when I read it. I don't really remember why. It was just okay book for me, but this one sounds really cool. I did like her writing style. I remember that, so this one I will definitely give a chance. Last summer, Nan's three best friends disappeared into Salt Cedar Canyon. She spent a year since grieving their loss and avoiding questions about what happened that night. Now, on the anniversary, she's ready to say goodbye, and so are the girl families, who have reconvened to hold a memorial. But their vigil is interrupted by the shocking return of one of the missing girls alive. Everybody is overjoyed. Everybody, that is, except Nan, who was pretty sure they were dead. After all, she's the one who killed them. I don't read YA that much anymore, but if I do want it to be like horror YA. I don't read anything else because there's a lot of horror YA that I did actually enjoy quite a lot. And other YA genres I'm kind of meh about currently, but this one I do want to give a chance. The next one is Going Home by Tom Lamont. This one is 6th of June. It's another literary fiction. Boy made good. Theo Erskine is back in the North London suburb of his youth, visiting his father, stubborn, selfish, complicated Vic. Things have changed for Theo. He's got a steady job, a brand new car, and a London flat all concrete and glass, with a sliver of a river view. Except underneath the surface, not much has changed at all. He's still the boy seeking his father's approval, the young man playing late-night poker with his best friend, unreliable, infuriating Van Mossam, the one still desperately in love with the enigmatic Leah. Leah's life, on the other hand, has been transformed. Now a single mom to 2-year-old Joel, she doesn't have time for anyone, not even herself. When the unthinkable happens, Joel finds himself at the center of a strange constellation of men, Theo, Vic, and Ben, none of whom is fully equipped to look after him, but whose strange tentative attempts at love might just be enough to offer him a new place to call home. I am interested in why this cover has bear on it, and only a bear on it. When I saw this cover, I thought that it was going to be some kind of maybe even horror book. It kind of looks like horror book. The next one I am kind of excited about, and this is, I think, the only one that is part of the series in this video, but I didn't have any high fantasy book in these videos really. So I wanted to put one, and this one sounded so fun and it looked really fun. So I just wanted to put it. It's part of the series. It's the first one in the series. It's The Witch Roads by Kate Elliott, and it comes out 10th of June. So it's high fantasy. When an arrogant prince and his equally arrogant entourage get stuck in or let her halt as part of brutal political intrigue, competent and sunny deputy courier Eldon, once a child slave meant to shield nobleman from the poisonous ball, is assigned to guide him through the hills to reach his destination. When she warns him not to enter the haunted spires, the prince doesn't hear her advice, and the man who emerges from the tower isn't the same man who entered. If you heard of at least one of these books, I feel like you could have heard about this one because it is by V.E. Schwab. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. It's also coming out 10th of June. This one is queer fantasy vampires, and I only read so far one book by V.E. Schwab, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It's also a single book. It's not part of the series. I don't think this one is going to be part of the series as well. And also I heard that people who got ARC of this book and who already read it, they said that this is for the people that really liked The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, that they're going to like this one. And it kind of sounds similar as well, because we are going through multiple timelines and multiple POVs from each timeline. This is a story about hunger. 1532, Santo Domenico della Calzada. The young girl grows up wild and willy. Her beauty is only outmatched by her dreams of escape, but Maria knows she can only ever be a prize or a pawn in the game played by men. When the alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. She vows to have no regret. This is a story about love. 1827, London. A young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life of her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender heart and seemingly impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow, but the price of freedom is higher than she could have imagined. This is a story about rage. 2019, Boston. College was supposed to be her chance to be someone new. There's why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, her present, and her future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends and how it starts. I chopped the chocolate up, and now I have to mix in all the ingredients. The next book is Thirst Trap by Grainne O'Hare. This one comes out 12th of June. And this one is a literary fiction. Maggie, Holly, and Rosie are friends under triumph, catastrophe, or maybe just finally growing up. Their crumbling Belfast house share has been witness to their roaring 20s, filled with questionable one-night stands and ruthless hangovers. But now fault lines are beginning to show. The three girls are still grieving the tragic death of their friend Lydia, whose room remains untouched. Their last big fight hangs heavy over their heads, unspoken since the accident, and now they are all beginning to unravel. So the next book is The Farmhouse by Chelsea Conradt. This is like pure horror thriller book. I don't have that many pure horror books on this list, but this one kind of stuck with me. It sounds really fun. It's like one of those house horror books as well. Every woman who has lived on this farm has died. Emily just moved in. With each passing day, Emily's sanctuary slips further away. The barn seems to move throughout her property as though chasing her. Her mother's favorite music drifts across the cornfield. She swears she saw blood in one of the farmhands' trucks, and the screams that wake her are not fox howls, no matter how many times her husband says they are. If she wants to claim this place as her own, she'll have to find out the truth before whatever watches from the cornfield takes her to. The next book that I have is another sci-fi fantasy. It just sounds really cool, and the cover kind of really got to me. It was very hypnotic. Even though the cover is nothing special, for me, for some reason, it was really hypnotic. It is Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlick. This one comes out 17th of June. What if there were a cure for the brokenhearted? Welcome to the Poppy Fields, where there's hope for even the most battered hearts to heal. Here, in a remote stretch of the California desert, lies an experimental and controversial treatment center that allows those suffering from the heartache of loss to sleep through their pain and keep on sleeping. After patients awaken from this prolonged state of slumber, they will finally be healed, but only if they're willing to accept the potential shadowy side effects. It's like my year of rest and relaxation in fantasy form, and with multiple people that all just want to sleep everything off. Then the next book is Ecstasy by Ivy Pochoda. This one is horror, and it's Greek retelling, I believe. Lana wants her life back. Her wealthy, controlling, humorless husband has just died, and now she contends with her controlling, humorless son, Drew. Lana lands in Axis with her best friend in tow for the unveiling of her son's pet project, the luxurious Agape Villas. Lana is intrigued by a group of women living in tents on the beach in front of the Agape. She can feel their drums at night, hear their seductive leader calling her to dance. Soon she will find that an ancient god stirs on the beach, awakening dark desires of women across the island. The only question left will be whether Lana will join them and what it will cost her. I don't really like retellings, to be honest, but this one I could like. Also, I have no idea what it is retelling of, but if somebody knows, please tell me. I really don't. The next is another literary fiction. It is Among Friends by Hal Ebbott. This one comes out 24th of June, and it looks like it's a very summery read by the cover. They're all dressed in summery outfits. It's an autumn weekend. Well, it looks summery, but I guess it's an autumn. So, it's an autumn weekend at a comfortable New York country house where two deeply intertwined families have gathered to mark the host's 52nd birthday. Together, the group forms an unviable portrait of middle age. The wives and husbands have been friends for over 30 years, their teenage daughters have grown up together, and the drinks, dinners, rituals, and games that form their days all reflect the rich bonds between them. This weekend, however, something is different. An unforeseen curdling of envy and resentment will erupt into an unspeakable act, the ramifications of which are enormous. Accusations, denials, and shattered illusions follow driving wedges between friends, spouses, children, and parents, and exposing the treacherous fault lines on which these families have dwelt. Okay, so I have my batter done. Okay, there are only 3 left. The Girls Who Grew Big by Leila Mottley. This one comes out 24th of June as well. It's literary fiction. Adela Woods is 16 years old and pregnant. Her parents banish her from a comfortable upbringing in Indiana to her grandmother's home in the small town of Padua Beach, Florida. When she arrives, Adela meets Emery, who brings her newborn to high school determined to graduate despite the odds. Simone, mother of 4-year-old twins, waits her option when she finds herself pregnant again, and the rest of the girls, a group of outcast young moms who raise their growing brood in the back of Simone's red truck. The town thinks the girls have lost their way, but really they are finding it, looking for love, making and breaking friendships, and navigating the miracles of motherhood and the paradox of girlhood. Here is my... you cannot see it. Here is yeah, you just believe me. There is banana bread inside to be made, and I have to put it in the oven, and then I will take it out, and whilst it's baking, I'm going to tell you about the last 2 books on this list. The next book is Television for Women by Danit Brown. This one as well comes out 24th of June, it is contemporary fiction. Esty isn't sure she likes being 8 months pregnant. She isn't sure she likes her husband anymore either, who got fired from his tenure position as a professor just in time for parenthood. Goodbye upward mobility, goodbye life as Esty imagined it, and goodbye Alice, Esty's preppy, East Coast best friend who's been ignoring her calls ever since Esty told her about the baby. Darkly humorous and startlingly honest, television for women explores the realities of life postpartum, the demands of children on women's identities and relationships, and the mad acts one commits to stop from losing control. And the last book that I have on today's list is Clam Down, A Metamorphosis by Anelise Chen. This one comes out 25th of June, and this one is non-fiction memoir. After the dissolution of her marriage, Ryder is transformed into a clam via typo after her mother keeps texting her to clam down. The funny, if unhelpful, command forces her to ask what it means to clam down during crisis, to retreat, hide, close up, and stay silent. Idiomatically, we are set to clam up when we can speak and to come out of the shell when we re-emerge transformed. While it makes sense in certain situations to retreat behind fortified walls, the choice to do so also exacts a price. What is the price of building up walls? How can one take them back down when they are no longer necessary? So those are all the books. I am now, because you were throughout the whole process with me while I'm baking this bread, I'm going to stop filming now and then film my outro when my banana bread is done. So I can show you my final product. If it's not good, then I will not be showing you, but let's hope it is. My banana bread is done and it looks amazing and it tastes amazing. So this is this is my banana bread. I never made banana bread before, so I didn't know what to expect, but I think I made it very, very good. Anyway, that's it of this video. This video has been such a mess, but it's been really fun to do something like this. Thank you for watching me make banana bread and talking about new releases. I hope you found out about some book that you are now interested in that is on your radar. I hope I put at least one of them on your radar, and that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!